Hey everybody, welcome back to Cosmic Life Astrology. Today we are talking about the Aries full moon happening on October 17th. Forgive me for not getting this out sooner to you guys. I have had water issues in my home, and my next door neighbor has had trees getting cut down every day this week so far. The Mars and Cancer energy has been real for me this week. So without further ado, let's dive into what to expect from this full moon. When we're looking at a full moon, often astrologers like to look at where the new moon was in that same sign. And that helps you understand what could be coming to a culmination during this time. So the new moon that we had happen in Aries this year was a solar eclipse at 19 degrees of Aries, conjuncting Chiron. And now we have a full moon in Aries, conjuncting Chiron. Isn't that special? It's like, you know, we started a healing journey and now we're finishing it with this full moon, right? Full moon conjunct Chiron. And even more auspicious, if we look even further back, in April of 2023, we had a solar eclipse in Aries at 29 degrees of Aries. And that's an anaretic degree. So there was the beginning of the ending of something, right? And then this year we started a healing journey. And now with this full moon conjuncting Chiron, we're finishing that healing journey. We're coming to the point where we're like, you know what? I'm good. I've learned everything that I needed to learn. I feel confident within myself to move forward, right? And with this full moon, we have a lot of aspects being made. The most important is the Grand Cardinal Cross that's taking place between the Sun, Mars, Pluto, and the full moon. We have Mars at 23 degrees of Cancer, making a square to the Sun and the Moon. We have Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn, making a square to the Sun and Moon. And on top of us having the full moon conjuncting Chiron, the Sun is also making a conjunction to Juno. So it's like a double whammy of emphasis on what we feel we need, what we need to honor within ourselves, what we need to change and release and let go of, and honoring your emotions, right? When we're looking at the Sun conjuncting Juno, we're looking at what we're committed to and who we're committed to, and are we getting a return on our investment with those commitments? And when we have an opposition to a full moon during that conjunction, we're very much reflecting emotionally on, is this serving me? And if not, what am I going to do about it? Because Mars and Pluto are going to make you do something about it. With the full moon squaring Mars, this could be a tense situation. Our emotions may cause a lot of tension within ourselves, really, because we're talking about an Aries full moon. Mars in Cancer is not very comfortable. It moves based off of how it feels, and Cancer is very sensitive. It doesn't share its underbelly with everybody. It waits until it can trust and feel comfortable to share those sensitivities and vulnerabilities. However, Mars and Cancer will fight for who and what they love, right? Mars and Cancer, can be considered passive aggressive because of that. Because, on one hand, Mars and Cancer can be passive because they don't want to get too vulnerable, but it can get aggressive when you threaten its sense of security and safety or home and family life. And so it can, depending on what's going on in your life, it can go either way. With the square to Pluto, which just stationed direct in Capricorn at 29 degrees, we're being pushed to finish something, you know, or because we're finishing something, it's pushing us to be brave and courageous. We're talking about a full moon in Aries conjuncting Chiron. It's like, you know, if you aren't finishing something right now, with that conjunction to Chiron, it's like you're being pushed to, you know, to honor yourself and to feel safe to do so, right? To be selfish in a way where, you know, it's not selfish in a greedy way, but it's selfish in a way where you have to be true to what you need and what you want, right? And that's okay. On top of all this, we have other connections being made. And Venus is very much a star player this week with this full moon. We have Venus making connections to Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune, the three outer planets who, up until Pluto went direct, the other two are still retrograde. However, these connections are still important to pay attention to. Venus is making a sextile to Pluto in Capricorn. So this is giving an easy or harmonious ability to make changes, to finalize things. You know, Venus and Pluto are at anaretic degrees, and so they very much want to finish something. So this is bringing that ability to do exactly that. Venus making a trine to Neptune. Neptune likes to dissolve things, but Neptune can also be dreamy and, you know, can create things and come up with, you know, desires and visions for what it wants, right? And when we're talking about Venus being in Scorpio, it can be very much passion focused. It can also be money focused as well. So there may be a need to dissolve something financially. There may need to be some secrets revealed, potentially, when we're talking about Neptune being, you know, a very hidden kind of influence as well. And Scorpio can be secretive. There could be a need for empathy and forgiveness also. And that trine is also bringing that ability to be forgiving, to be understanding, to be empathetic towards others, but also to bring the capability to create something new. When we're talking about a connection being made, you know, with Venus at an anaretic degree, Venus is much more more happy and functioning in a lighter way when it moves into Sagittarius soon. And making that trine to Neptune, you know, it says if Venus is like, all right, we feel all these things, we desire all this stuff, you know, we have to, there's things that we need to reveal, that we need to face. You know, there may be things in your subconscious that are coming up, you know, deep from within that you have to honor. You know, there's very much a focus on honoring your desires, your wants, your needs this week, with this full moon especially. And Venus is also making an opposition to Uranus. And so there could be shakeups, there could be breakups, there could be breakthroughs. There could be some stubbornness involved in this too, because Venus in Scorpio can be stubborn with what she wants. And Uranus is like, I don't care how stubborn you want to be, this is happening. So, you know, you know, they're at odds with each other when Venus is opposing Uranus. And, you know, this could cause a lot of tension, but much needed tension to have that breakthrough, to have those changes take place. And Venus is also the ruler of Libra, which is where the sun is during this full moon. and where Juno is. So, you know, Venus is a key component, as well as Mars, because Mars rules Aries, which is where our full moon is. And so we have, you know, this pressure cooker between all the connections made in the Grand Cross and the connections that Venus is making to really dig deep within and be true to yourself about what it is you want, you need, you desire. Honor your vulnerable emotions that may be coming up. Don't be afraid to face them head on. And it's okay to be selfish in the process of honoring what it is that you need, you know, what it is you want for your life. And in the midst of any turmoil that comes up, have empathy for others, you know, be able to forgive, you know, those that may have wronged you. If secrets come up, you know, about things that have been done behind the scenes, you know, have forgiveness for people. They're only human. Everyone's on their own journey and people make mistakes, you know. This full moon is very much, I really feel like it's a baby eclipse because there's so much energy packed into it that's really trying to push us along in our journey. You know, it's really highlighting Pluto, especially, you know, that just went direct and is finishing, you know, the final touches in Capricorn. We'll never see it again, you know, so it's like whatever's coming up during this time, you have to embrace it and allow it to happen the way it's supposed to happen. And, you know, stay true to yourself in the process with the Aries full moon, you know. Be okay with being vulnerable. Be okay with, you know, with whatever comes into your forefront. You know, in the process of the connections that Venus is making and the Grand Cardinal Cross, Jupiter is also making a sextile to Chiron. And so, you know, I think that's important to bring up because, you know, Jupiter in Gemini has a lot to say, right? And that sextile to Chiron, there could be a lot of discussions that need to be had so we can have healing, so we can restore some faith and balance in our life. And, you know, the sextile that Jupiter is making to Chiron and the full moon, I think is going to bring us the ability to really expand our world in the way that needs to be expanded, to really do something that honors our journey. And Jupiter likes to be generous. So, you know, the sextile to Chiron and the full moon, you know, if you're emotionally vulnerable or things are getting triggered, you know, if you're honoring how you feel and you're able to express that in a compassionate way, you know, Jupiter will grant you favor. You know, Jupiter will help the situation because it is the great benefic. And we have the other benefic, you know, at play, Venus. And so I think that there's really an ability to, you know, there may be some scary things that come up. There may be fears that are triggered. There may be heavy emotions that come up. There may be secrets revealed. But we have the two benefics in the sky involved in this, giving us the ability to face things and have it turn out in our favor, you know, where whatever comes of things, it's resolved in a way that is harmonious for everyone. You know, Jupiter in Gemini is dualistic. So it's not just about one person, it's about two. And we have the Aries Libra axis, self and other. And so there is the ability to come to a fair result for all involved. So I hope that you can digest all of that, because it is a lot. This full moon is jam-packed. It's, you know, there's a lot of focus on relationships. There's a lot of focus. And with Venus and Scorpio, you know, it could be about, there could be a money factor involved in this too, you know, where you need to be fair in whatever money influence is involved in this. But there's the ability to have a change or a breakthrough where it keeps you in line with the journey that you're meant to be on. You know, we're closing out a chapter with Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn. And this full moon could very much be triggering things that need to be like that final nail in the coffin. Or it could be triggering things that need to be worked out. You know, it's like before you say goodbye, there's this final statement. There's this final detail that needs to be worked out. Or there's, you know, this breaking point of, you know, maybe two people are being stubborn about something and finally one person budges, right? And this could be that catalyst where it's like, okay, finally, you know, we made some headway and we can get this done, right? That's very much, you know, what I'm feeling through reflecting on all the energies that are impacting this full moon. And, you know, this isn't just a one-day influence. Full moons do have like a 2-week layover. So you can see things, you know, happening over the next 2 weeks where this energy is playing out. And, you know, this can be, it can be heavy, but with astrology, the planets keep moving and the energy is therefore always moving and fluid. And it's just a moment in time. So whatever comes up for you during this full moon, I wish you all the luck and hope that all turns out well, and that Jupiter's influence in this and Venus's influence in this helps you resolve and come to a good result for whatever is transpiring. And with that, I do hope this, you know, helps you understand what could transpire and the full moon's influence overall. If you found this helpful, please share your comments. Let me know how this is playing out for you. I do respond to all the comments. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do so, because the YouTube algorithm is a pain in the butt for us astrologers, to say the least. So I do appreciate all the likes, the shares, the comments, the subscribers. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for more videos. Take care, everyone.